Yo, thank you for watching the jump off. Always land feet first. This is Don Mondo coming at you. I know it's been a while, I haven't done a video. It's just, I had to take a little trip to go visit Matthew Cox for true crime and do a little podcast with him. Then Chad from Blood on the Razor. Two amazing people, very nice guys. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate them giving me the time of day to meet up with them and get my story out, you know? So I didn't get to tell a lot of my story because when you meet up with certain individuals, they got a lot of people planned, right? And you only have a certain amount of hours. Like, you know, Chad is the type of guy who does about 30 minutes to an hour. Matthew Cox does about, let's just say, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours tops, right? So with that being said, I can't tell you 35 years of true story in 2 hours. So a lot of stuff have been cut off, a lot of stuff wasn't said, and that kind of made everything like very touchy, like to the point that a lot of people couldn't understand it, or very confused, I don't know how to say it, but missing pieces to the puzzle. You can't get the puzzle right. If you got two missing pieces, you cannot get that puzzle right ever, right? So that's what I'm saying. All the pieces to the puzzle weren't put together on those interview podcasts, sit downs, whatever you want to call it. I call them sit downs, not podcasts. Anyways, this is going to be a short one because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the time, and there's going to be parts. There's going to be one part when I was born in Albania. There's going to be that has a lot to do with my story, although I left when I was 5 years old, so that's only 5 years worth of like stuff that I could remember when I was a kid. Some stuff I can't remember because I was a kid, but there's a lot of stuff that I could hear, feel, smell, you know, like the gunshots to the car. That's something that I could hear because it damaged my hearing afterwards. Like I couldn't hear for a while. Although as a kid, I knew something was wrong. And so that's just like, or the smell, you know, of certain places that I went to, like the environment that I was living at the moment, the fumes. You know, there's some stuff as a kid that, like, of course you're not going to remember everything, but you can certainly, the feel, the touch, the smell, that's some stuff that you're not going to forget. And then you put it all together, and then stuff that your parents have told you, then it all makes sense, right? So anyways, I'm going to do parts. I'm going to do parts of the story that's going to make all sense. This is true stuff. This is realistic stuff. This is stuff that's happened to my life. I got paperwork on it. I got everything on it. So there's like, nothing is to the point that it's false. You can tell me at any point, show me the paperwork on it, and I will show you the paperwork. What the investigators, what the police, what the immigration, what anybody has said. So this is all documented stuff. So I took a look at the comments, of course. But anyways, let me get back to what I'm going to do. There's going to be one part that's going to be Albania. Then there's going to be another part, me going to America, living my life in America, playing football, meeting my first girlfriend, trying to get married to her. Just all the stuff, right, that I experienced when I was in, you know, living out in the trailer parks, then getting a big house, and then stuff with the family, and just the way I grew up, where I lived. A lot of Mexicans in my area, so there's a lot of gang affiliated stuff. Was I ever part of it? No. I stay away from that, although I was dragged into certain situations. And so anyways, that's going to be part of the situation. is going to be that. That's going to be talking about America. Then we're talking about the third part. Third part is going to be me getting sent back to Albania. So when I'm back in Albania, then that's going to explain what my uncles have done, how the certain individuals find out who I was, how they wanted to come back and get me for the mistakes that my uncle has done, and how I prevented to get away from the situation, and how I found a way out, and how one of my friends was grateful enough that I truly respected till today. I appreciate it, although he probably doesn't think I do, but I do. Like, I owe him everything because he got me out of this situation. And anyways, then there's going to be another part, me coming to Canada. So when you go to a country for the first time, you might say, oh, okay, you made it. You went to a country, those individuals are not there anymore, so you had a good, clean start. No, that's not it. I mean, there's a lot of challenges that you face when you come to a new country. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just got to the country, so you don't know certain individuals, so you get, you associate yourself with the wrong people. You start thinking that they're the right people, but you don't know. You get involved in the club scene because you were in jail for a while, waiting immigration. Then you were depressed when you were in Albania. Then you finally came to a new country, so you want to experience the country. So you go clubbing, and then those people that you're associated with have problems with other people that you don't know about, but you're a new face, so they think that you're associated with them. And that's how it starts. That's how it starts to, like, the problems. So coming to the country is not like, oh, I made it, I'm in a new country, I'm safe now. No, that just causes new problems. So that's going to explain some of my problems in Canada. And then I'm going to explain how I got away from those individuals, what I had to do, and hopefully this helps out other people to do a 360 in their life. If they don't like the way their life is going, if they don't like how they're being portrayed, and how things are pretty much like they can see the future of what's going to happen later on in their life. So automatically they're like confused. Should I continue this route, or how do I get out of this route? Because I know where it's going to lead to, and I know what's going to happen, but I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I'm going to let you know how to overcome those challenges and all the questions that you have. I know how to get past that route and what needs to be done for you to start fresh. Okay, it's going to be a lot of lonely times. You're going to be by yourself, but that's just a good way for you to find out who you really are, find out what you really love in life, what you really enjoy, and who you are as a person. You can't do that with all the commotion. You can't do that with your buddies hitting you up every single day saying, hey, let's go to the club. Hey, meet me at this pool party. Hey, we got barbecue, and then that's going to lead to a high-rise condo party. Then we're going to take out the boat, and we're going to tie it up and go to this boat party at, just say, Lake Havasu for spring break, and then we're going to fly out. Like, if you got all that stuff going on in your life, there's no time to hit the brakes. Then the only time that you get to hit the brakes is, hopefully that never happens to you, is when you end up in the hospital to the point that you can't move and you have to be there. Or you hit the brakes because you're in jail and there's no way out, so you really got to find out who you are as a person. So before you end up involved in those situations, it's better off to just cool things off earlier and make yourself go ghost, disappear. Have nobody know where you are except for some family members so they don't get worried, and then you can start fresh. But when you're starting fresh, you can't make these mistakes. So me going to these podcasts, I'm not even gonna call it podcasts, man, these sit downs. me sitting down with these individuals, right? That's what I like to use. I like to use that term. If you don't like it, it's okay. But sitting down with these individuals and telling my story, it's not me claiming I'm a gangster, tough guy. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. If you come at me, I'm going to try to save my life. I'd rather see your mother cry than my mother cry. That's for sure, damn straight. I'd rather have your mother cry any day than have my mother cry. And that's vice versa. You'd rather see my mother cry than your mother cry. So that's how it works. That's how I think of stuff. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if a situation happens, somebody comes at me, hey, your mother's crying, because I'm going to do everything I can to get out of there, or anything I can to manipulate myself out of the situation, just so I know I'm good and you're not. But if we never get to that point, I'm gonna be the best person, like your best friend, your a solid soldier, if you want to call it. I've always done that. Check the reputation in America. I've had good friends. I've had loyal friends behind me. I've had solid people behind my back at all times. You know what I'm saying? And then the people that ever if there's anybody that says, "Oh, this guy Tony," now you might say the Tony. Like, why don't you use your real name? I use Tony the Pizza Guy because I own a pizza shop, and when people come in there, they just want to see Tony. Yo, Tony the Pizza Guy. It's short and simple. And in America, it's messed up because they keep your stuff in the system. So if I'm trying to come to a new country and get a fresh start, but then I introduce myself as my real name, you look me up, and then you see all the stuff that I had in the States, all the problems. You're not going to hire me. You're not going to be my business partner. You're not going to invest money in me. You're going to think I'm still that same knucklehead kid that I was back in the day, and nothing has changed. So that's what I'm trying to say, that's why I just use Tony, fresh new start. You can't look me up and try to find out who my family is and find out who I am and what I've done in the States. And, you know, although it's been over 10 years now, some of the stuff should be off the system, but, you know, being young and dumb, everybody's been there. You cannot sit there and tell me that you've never, not at one point in your life, have never done anything bad. That you've always been this amazing kid, have never started any problems in your life, and that you were just an angel. Like, just, that's all BS. That's never happened. So forget about it. Everybody's made some kind of problems. Everybody's gone through something in life. Everybody's made mistakes that's cost them a lot. So that's just all BS. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's going to be my series. And sorry about that. Just replying to some people and looking at some of the comments that people have made. But yeah, I want to get through some of these comments. But before that, that's the story. You know, that's the story I'm going to head. And I'm going to actually take the time to do parts of my story, my life story of 35 years of madness. And for you to sit down and then you could tell me, okay, this makes sense and this doesn't make sense. If I try to put all that all together without being ready, without having a plan, and without strategizing, how can I put this together for it to make sense for my viewers? It was more like the sit down with Matthew was like, okay, you ready? Okay, let's go. Boom. And then with Chad's more of like, I heard a lot of comments and a lot of reviews, but he does that with everybody. Everybody's like, oh my God, Chad's like, I hope this guy gets the heck out of there because this guy's annoying, and he's really annoying Chad right now. Chad's like, I can't believe this guy's even on. Chad does that with everybody. If you see all of his sit downs, he looks at his computer. He does other stuff on his computer, like trying to get people out of jail, or he's trying to line some stuff up, and he just lets you talk. That's the best way to being a podcaster or you know, a person that does the interviews. Like, you just let the other person speak. So when the person speaks and speaks and speaks, and you're not giving them any feedback, or you're not giving them any kind of like interest in your story, then he feels kind of uncomfortable to the point that he's like, should I be even talking right now? Like, what the heck's going on? So with Chad's a good guy, an amazing person, but he's been incarcerated for 30 years. So maybe his communication skills lack a little bit, or is I don't mean this in a bad, disrespectful way, but maybe his communication lack, or maybe he's just too busy, or maybe he just doesn't care about people's stories, or maybe he just wants to hear stuff that he's just interested in, and if it doesn't interest him, then whatever. Okay, so that's Chad. Chad does his own way. Everybody's got their own kind of strategy and how they do the podcast thing. I'm going to end up doing it too. Me, I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to say, okay, so you were this. So if you would have asked me more questions, I would have answered a lot of the questions that you viewers have. And then you guys wouldn't answer, or you guys want to reply all those dumb comments. Like, oh, well, he never mentioned this, or how did he get from this to there, or what is he talking about? Maricopa County is a good place. Maricopa County, Tin City, and Durango is not even a bad place. Buddy, this was 10 years ago with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Sheriff Joe Arpaio was the worst sheriff in America. So he made the jails the worst jails in America. I don't care what you say about California right now. Yeah, California is the worst. California is gangster. I don't care what you say about New York. Yeah, New York is gangster. Whatever. I'm talking about back then. Maricopa County, Tin City, Lower Buckeye, Kingsville, all those prisons and jails out there were rough with Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Okay? You're talking about the food, getting fed 2 times a day. You get an apple and peanut butter in the morning, and then for dinner you get some slop. We're talking about beans and rice. What are you talking about, man? So get out of here with that chaos. Like, you're talking about meals that don't even come up to not even 500 calories. And if you're a big guy, if you're somebody who needs to eat, you're starving. You're fighting people in the bathroom just for bread and food. You're struggling. You're stealing for food just to stay alive. Let alone anything else. Nothing else matters. Family doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. All that matters at that point is food. So, yeah, these are hard times. People fought in the bathrooms. People got stabbed. People got killed. And this is the time. We're talking about 10 years ago. So for all the people that have these dumb comments, they don't know what they're talking about. We're not talking about Durango, Tin City right now. Right now, it might be soft. It might be played out. It might be there's no violence. There's no nothing. It might be a little playground. When Sheriff Joe Arpaio was there, no, buddy, no. That's when the Mexican cartel was strong. That's when they came in there and they were chopping off people's heads and laying them on the border for the Americans to see that we're not playing games. That's when they were chopping people's heads off in jail. Okay, so don't tell me about you don't know what you're talking about. No, man, I was there for 8 months. Then I came back there for 3 months. So and then I came back there again. I got all paperwork. 3 times being in there, Tin City and Durango, and then going up to Kingsville for a year. You can't tell me that these places were nothing. How do you know? You don't know nothing. And for the majority of the people that comment, they never even been in jail. Haven't even served 1 day. Or they're probably in the drunk tank. Being in the drunk tank is different from being actually inside the penitentiary, like being inside and getting a sentence. It's totally different. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. And I got this guy, Raven the Gallo, who's like in love with me. He's obsessed. He's like, who was your shot caller? The guy with the mullet, the biker. I'm not going to tell you his name. He's still out there. He still lives out there. Why should I tell you he was incarcerated at this place? I'm not going to give you information that you want, because I still got family that lives out in Arizona. And this guy was a serious guy, connected with a serious group. Why would I tell you that? And then he shows up at my uncle's pizza shop and gets my family in trouble. Like, what are you talking about, dog? Or why should I tell you the Mexicans, the paisanos, the people that I was connected with, that I hung out with, and that we You know, they got down and dirty and they did business, and if I was with them, I was with them. If I was lucky to get away, or lucky not to be around at the time that they did what they had to do, then that's my, that's the angels looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? But I know what happened. I know what took place. I know what occurred. But this is a long time ago, so now I can talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about stuff that that's like right now, prior. Talk about stuff that happened 10, 15 years ago. And the only reason why I did this is because everybody has a story. Everybody, and I'm not saying these stories because I want to seem like a tough guy. I'm doing this to help other people educate themselves, for them not to make a mistake, or how deportation occurred and what you should do to avoid deportation. Right now, everybody's getting deported. There's like 2,500 people a day getting deported. So I'm telling you that you should have something pending in the system. A marriage, a refugee asylum, asylum I can't go back because the government might kill me. Something pending in the system for you to not get deported. I'm trying to help out individuals that to not make the same mistake that I did, because I was young and my family took over the case and I couldn't help myself because they did most of the job. But now that I know what I know how I could have actually got my papers and stayed in America, but stuff happened for a reason. I got to travel the world, and although I got almost killed a few times, but still I got to travel the world. I came to a beautiful country like Canada, and I got to meet some amazing people down here, and I opened up a coffee shop, I opened up a pizza shop, and I made some good money. So things happen for a reason, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want these people to make the same mistakes I did. Now that I know and I have the knowledge for it, why shouldn't I express my knowledge to other people and help them out? So maybe, like they're on the verge of getting deported, but you know what? I watched the jump off. Always land feet first, remember that. And there's a fellow on there, Don Mondo, and he said, I could do this, and that can help me from getting deported. So I'm going to try to submit that in the system. An I-601, a 350. There's so much paperwork that you could submit to try to keep you here from having the grounds of removal. If you have a spouse, or if you have a brother or sister or something, if you have a business. Now they're doing the visas. Like if your parents have some kind of money back home, they can put up their house or they can put up their business to try to get you to stay. Or, there's many ways that you can try to prevent yourself from getting deported if you're in the United States. As well in Canada. In Canada, you got a lot of Indians, Colombians, El Salvadorians. They come over here on a student visa. They submit their visa 3 times, 4 times. But guess what? After the 3rd and 4th attempt of you submitting these visas, you're going to get denied and you're going to get deported. They're just visas to keep you here until you finish your school. You can't just say, I'm a manager at Chuck's Roadhouse, which I have one of those guys right now, and I introduced him to one of my lawyers, and he found a route that he could stay into the country. Without meeting me, he was going to get deported. They gave him a ticket to go back home to India. But he had the rights to stay here because of something that we found in the system and the lawyer I connected him with. But this is Canada too. Okay, don't just think, my visa got approved, so I got 3 more years to stay. Those 3 years disappeared, gone. I've been to Canada 10 years, gone. I don't even know how it went. Some of you guys are like, I'm 40 years old, I'm 50 years old. I don't even know how time went by. Time goes by so damn fast that you don't even know about it. Every day you sleep, you open up your eyes, it's another day gone. So it's just like life goes so fast that you don't even know about it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I helped out, especially in Canada. It's they got a lot of Indians right now, and a lot of El Salvadorians, Colombians, Mexicans. They come here through visas, they come here through stuff. But say you have a problem back home. Like, I had a lady, she worked at my coffee shop, and she came on on a visitor's visa, and I tried to help her out a little bit with the job, but I couldn't keep her there for long because I didn't want to get in trouble. So anyways, she couldn't go back home because the cartel had her mom kidnapped. I said, you need to let the government know this kind of stuff. You're trying to go back home? And she's like, I don't know. Well, I tried to do anything I can to try to stay inside the country. And I'm like, yeah, but your visa's going to run out and they're going to come after you and they're going to deport you. I don't know what I should do. I took her straight to the embassy and told her the situation. Her mother got kidnapped. Here's the story behind it. She's here on a refugee asylum. I know she came here on a visitor's visa, but she's a refugee. And if she goes home, she's going to die. I'll have her. Like, next time I go to meet her, because she doesn't work for my pizza shop anymore, or the coffee shop. She works for somebody else, getting more pay. But she got all of her stuff. She got a refugee, which you're allowed to work, or that gives you Blue Cross, free medical care, and you're allowed to work. So no, she's not waiting on your tax money, because other people get mad. They're like, oh, my tax money goes to all these refugees. No, these refugees want to work, so they come here to work, and she's working. She's making good money. Anyways, I don't want to mention her job, but she's a paralegal at a law firm. She's really good at it. She knows what she's doing. And she has a strong case. She has a very, very strong case to stay in the country. Her mother is kidnapped by the cartel. It's a proven fact. If I didn't say anything, if I didn't stood up for her, she was going to go back to her country and get attacked and killed by these individuals. So I saved a life. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this. I saved a life. If I could save a life a year, I'm happy. Because sometimes you don't have to be there to save somebody's life. Just some knowledge, just some stuff that they don't know about. Like, oh, your student visa is going to run out, but you could do this to keep you here. Oh, your visitor visa is going to run out, but you have this situation. Or you have a business back home. Why don't you try to open up a business here and get a business visa? You know what I'm saying? There's things that people do not know about that nobody wants to know. I understand. Listen, I don't want people staying in my country too that are not allowed to be here. I'm against illegals being in the country, especially when they're speaking death to Canada. If you're saying death to Canada, and you're out there burning the Canadian flag, then you're a piece of shit that deserves to go back to your fucking country and see how it feels to live over there. And watch, when you go back home and you get caught with a bullet in the back of your head, you're not going to say death to Canada. You're going to say death to me, and you're going to say I love Canada. I was so safe, and I'm so dumb for doing what I'm doing. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on in Canada. There's a lot of things, and it's not everybody blames Trudeau. Okay, Trudeau's a piece of shit regardless, but it's not all his fault. It's not his fault that people are burning Canadian flags. I mean, you could say it is, because he should put the army out there to try to stop them, or these are terrorist attacks, so you should try to get some cops. Yeah, you're right. They should handle it by force. I mean, if these people are making death threats, then force should be there. I totally agree with you. There's no problem with that. But, you know, sometimes people are going to do what they're going to do because they're stupid, they're dumb, they don't have the knowledge enough to know what's going on for real. They don't know who started the war. They don't know what kind of propaganda. Sometimes wars are started because of oil, because of money, because of some president talking shit to another president's mother. And you don't even know. They risk the whole country, they risk the army, they risk everything over nothing. Just like America when they went to go attack, I think, Japan or Vietnam or something, the Vietnam War. They dropped bombs, they dropped everything. And the Vietnamese, they're amazing people. I go to the restaurant all the time to eat and hang out and have a good time. They treat me like family. They're not bad people. And you attack their country for no reason because you thought that they were going to do something, or just fake news, just like Donald Trump says, fake news. Do I agree with everything Donald Trump has to say? No. Do I believe men should be men and take care of their loved ones and take care of the woman and their family? Yes, I do. Anyways, this is a lot of stuff to talk about, but I'm going to sit down, and then on my next one, I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that I've seen online that you're like, oh, well, I don't understand this guy. If that's a... Guys, Durango, the jails back then when Sheriff Joe Payo, which he was a crook. He was the only sheriff that was a millionaire, that had $3 million house, a boat, a private jet. Like, no sheriff has this kind of stuff. He was working with the Mexican cartel. They were doing favors for him to make money. He's a crook. Okay? So being a crook, he made the worst jails ever and treated us like shit. Degraded us, gave us medication that made us dumb, that made us go crazy, that made us just sit there for hours. I never took the meds, man. I don't trust any of the medication back then. But he would give these people medication, especially people that never did any jail time, and they were scared and nervous, that would just sit there for hours looking at the TV screen, frozen. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, back then it was bad. Okay? And then, yeah, people can, like, I don't know, I heard some other comments saying that, how are you going to say, it's called getting deported and using a passport to come to another country. Like, what are you talking about? Like, people do it every day. How do people get there? How do illegal immigrants come to other countries? They use passports, they use boats, they use cars, planes, any way possible for their freedom. So I don't know, like, some of these comments that I've heard are ridiculous, but I do respect the ones that... The only reason why I did this is because I saw 90 Jake, or Jake 90, or whatever his name is. I forgot his name. The guy who's a white blood. 1090 Jake. So 1090 Jake got famous on YouTube, and that's not what I'm trying to do. If I get some supporters, I get some love, I can help out my family back home. I can help out some people. I can use the money that I make off YouTube to help out illegal immigrants become legal by getting them the right law firm, or helping them with the money for the right lawyer, or just helping out citizens that have a claim, or like my buddy, he was about to take a plea for a DUI when his keys weren't even in the car. So, like, I see all these people taking pleas and pleas. Take it to trial. If the cops did not do their job right, if the cops messed up, if the cops did a mistake, you take it to trial. Don't take the plea just to get out of jail, because you can't stand there for a day later, or you can't stay there for a month, because you're going to ruin your life just because of something so small that you could beat at trial 110%. So yeah, I would love to use the money for good. So if I became famous, that's what I would do. Use the money for good. Help out many people to beat these cases, to come to the country the right way. Because you're going to need immigrants. You might say, no, we don't need them. We got enough people. No, you don't. There's $50 billion in damages in California. Okay, so get up there. The white Americans, right? Or black Americans, or because we're not counting Mexicans, they're all illegals. They're useless, right? So you guys get up early in the morning and start building the mansions, start building the houses, start building the communities back up. All the fires that destroyed all the communities, that destroyed everything, 50 billions in damages, start getting up early in the morning, 6 in the morning, and start working. Dude, you're gonna need tons of people to help out with all the damages that occurred from these fires. Like, what are you talking about? You're gonna need tons of people to help out. Legal immigrants that get paid, that pay their taxes. That's why Donald Trump is asking people to come into America. That's why Donald Trump actually approved. Thanks to him. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you hear this, if you hear what I have to say, if you never hear what I have to say, well, at least I'm going to say it. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart for you approving 2 of my cousins and 2 of my aunts to come to America the right way. He got their visas, not their visas, their actual I-601 waivers. So I-601 waiver, the grounds a waiver to come to the country legal. He's fast at doing stuff that he's supposed to do. 2,500 people got deported, but he approved another 1,000 people that have been pending. Their cases have been pending to come to the country legally. So, although he's getting rid of people, he's bringing in people the right way. Why? Because we need these people to work, to pay taxes like you guys, to strengthen the country. You're all illegal immigrants. The only people that are allowed to talk are the Native Americans. Everybody's an illegal immigrant. The only pretty people allowed to talk is the Native Americans. You might say, no, I'm American, no, I'm Canadian. How? Your great-great-grandma, great-great-grandpa, or whatever, they were European settlers. They're from Poland, they're from Germany. They're from Europe. You're all European. If you're true Indian, like not India from India, not Punjabi. Shout out to all my Punjabi people out there. I've helped out a lot of those too with their visas and all the stuff that they got going on. But not Punjabi, I'm talking about Indians, real Indians. Out here in the Indian reservations that they don't even want to come out. They want to live out in the reservations, and that's where they're at. Those are the true Indians. They're native to their land. Everybody else is an illegal immigrant. Donald Trump's wife's an illegal immigrant. Donald Trump is an illegal immigrant. He was a European settler from back in the day. Not Donald Trump because he was born in America, but his dad's dad was European. If you check your roots, if you check out where you're from, if you do a little bit of testing, you could see that none of you guys are actual Americans and Canadians. You could say that you are native to the land now because it's been so long, but you all migrated from another country. So anyways, doesn't matter. What I'm trying to get at, congratulations to everybody that became an American or is born in America, or same thing, vice versa for Canada. But you're going to need these people to work, to fix the $50 billion in damages in California from the wildfire. You're going to need all these people. You got so much land in Canada, that where's the playgrounds for the kids? Make some playgrounds for the kids. There's nothing to do, just nightclubs, bars and nightclubs. Let's get drunk to the point that we get crazy and shoot each other and do stupid stuff. No, why don't we have some playgrounds, water parks, I don't know, like Disneyland. Have a Disneyland out here, like not just one, multiple of them. Not everybody can go to California all the time. Like, you know, have some in every state. Every state should have a Disneyland. Every state should have something for their kids. I see nothing for kids nowadays. For you to take your kid to have a good time. There's nothing for kids. So what do? Let's just keep them at home and let them watch video games and play on their phone all day until they see something bad on their phone. They're going to want to do it. They don't know what that does, and that leads to them doing crime and put them in jail. All because you kept your kid at home. You're too lazy to take your kid out, and you gave him a phone when he was 9 years old, 8 years old, and he's learning bad stuff, and you don't even know what the kid's doing on your phone because you got no parental control on your phone. So anyways, like I'm saying, you need immigrants to build the country, to make a country successful. You need them to pay their taxes, but you need them to come here legally, okay? And that's where I'm coming at, okay? This is where I'm coming at with my knowledge, my expertise, everything that I've learned throughout my life, all the waivers and petitions and all the paperwork that we submitted all throughout our life gave me the knowledge to know what needs to be done for certain individuals. You have this problem, you should submit this. Your problem is this, you should submit that. Everything has something. If you have no reason to be in the country, then go back to your country. If you have no reason. But anyways, I wanted mostly to get on the platform, to get more viewers, to get more people, and hopefully, like 1090 Jake, I don't know what he's using his money for. I can care less. That's his life. But to help out people, to help out many individuals, to get them to become legally in this country, to get them jobs, and to help countries grow. And that's it. If my platform grows in the meanwhile, then good to me. I mean, 1090 Jake, he got millions of subscribers by telling juvenile stories when he was in juvie. He told some juvenile jail stories. He got cut by a razor on his cheek, and he's a white blood. And because of that, his media broke out. Like, some people just get lucky like that. But me, being almost killed when I was 5 years old in Albania, coming to America, involved with some Mexican fellas that are my homies, that are good people, but didn't know about them. But my family getting deported, then me not giving a damn and losing my cool and crashing out, because once you see your family getting deported, you don't give a damn anymore. So you start making dumb mistakes. Your football career gets destroyed. You lose your true love, the person that you're planning on getting married and having kids with. So you lose your love. You lose your love of football. You lose your family because they're separated from you. They're gone. They're in another country. You got 2 brothers and a sister to take care of, but you don't have any means of money to do so. So then you crash out. You get deported yourself. You get sent back. You make a mistake by telling somebody your last name. Now you found out that your uncle did something back home that led to a family feud. To a feud, like, we call it Jack Mari. This individual's trying to kill you in Albania. They almost attempted. I got scarred up and cut up, and I got all the paperwork to prove it. I used a good friend's passport to smuggle into Canada to save my life. I get into Canada and then start my life in Canada. And now it's been over 10 years. No, it's been over 12 years. So now I'm allowed to come back to America because they gave me a 10-year ban. I had a 10-year ban. I did 12 years. I do a waiver, and I could go back to America. So you got a juvenile story like 1090 Jake to a madness, crazy story like mine. I'm not trying to compare the two to try to be like I should be a millionaire, not him. I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying everybody has faced their unique challenges. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a story. And I never even wanted to talk about mine until I was sitting at a barber shop. This is exactly what happened. I'll tell it to you briefly. I'll tell it to you quick. I was at a barber shop. I sat down. For 2 years, I didn't talk to this barber. Like, for 2 years, I'd say, hi, how are you? He knew exactly what I want, a fade to the sides and whatever. He's a very good barber. He's been to tournaments or whatever. We call him Cuts. So Cuts is his name. He's been to many tournaments. He's really good at what he does. 2 years of not talking. And then he's like, yo, bro, so what's your name? And I was like, yo, Tony the pizza guy. Oh, he's like, oh, Tony the pizza guy. So what, you own a pizza shop? I said, yeah, I'm co-partners at a pizza shop, and I own mine as well. I got one that's mine, and I'm co-partners. And my uncle has one in the States that he looks after that's mine as well. So there's one in the States that we opened up before I got deported that my uncle still looks after. Benny's Pizza. That's my shop and his, but I put some of the money in it as well. And he still keeps it alive for me, that hopefully one day if I go back, after I do my waiver, then I can pick up where I left off, Picked up where I left off 12 years ago. So anyways, he just wanted to know my name. Next time I go in there, he wanted to know a little bit about my life. And then I just felt like one day just sharing him stuff that I've experienced. And he said, bro, stop right there. You got to do a YouTube. Like, you do a YouTube about your life, man. especially with all the deportation, everything that's going on nowadays. Maybe some people can learn about some of the stuff you've been through, bro. All the challenges and all the difficulties. I sat there for a moment. He cut my hair. I gave him a tip, like always. And then I just thought about it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. And that's why I got John Elite. If you go on John Elite's, or if you check my shorts, I was on John Elite as well. He did one about my family getting deported and everything else. You know, it's a rough time, man. It's a rough time when you see your family get deported and then everybody gets spread away. Like you don't get to see your brothers. I know some people in this country that have their brother and their sister 5 minutes away from them, and they won't go over there to give their brother or mother or father a hug or a kiss. I wish I had my parents next to me. I haven't seen my parents in 12 years, man. 12 years I've been separated from them. They can't come to me, I can't go to them. You know how hard that is? You have no idea how hard that is. You'll never experience that. If you want to experience that, go to another country right now and don't talk to or have communication with them, but don't see them for 12 years and see how it is. So shame on you, bro. Shame on women and men that are literally 5 minutes away from their family and they can't go there and just give their mother a kiss or a hug, or their brother or sister take them out for some coffee. They'll rather hang out with their friends. They're gang banging. They got my back. Well, guess what? The person that put me in jail, that I took the blame for, and I got paperwork for it, I took the charges. He doesn't got my back. At the end of the day, my family had my back. That guy took off. Never heard of him again. That's the sirens you hear. And once you hear those sirens, your friends are gone. So perfect timing. Once you hear those sirens, like that, your friends are gone. Your friends don't give a damn about you no more. Phones are off. You call them, this number does not exist no more. But your mom's going to answer the phone crying. Your dad's going to answer the phone saying, why? Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, guys, I'm going to tell my story out here. I'm going to tell it the right way. I'm not going to be rushed. You know what I'm saying? Although I respect you. Matthew Cox, Chad, for giving me the platform. I didn't get a lot of subscribers, but it doesn't mean anything. I still did it to at least get my name out there. So I just appreciate you guys giving me the time of day. I know you guys are busy. I know you guys got a million people. You even say it on there. Like sometimes I feel like you guys don't care about other people's stories. If I'm going to interview somebody, I'm going to care about them. I'm going to actually take my time to hear them out and actually give them everything. My heart, my soul, my passion, and my love for their story, because they went through something in their life. And I mean, you got Chad just on his computer looking up other stuff, and then everybody's like, oh my God, Chad just doesn't even want this guy on there. He's like, what kind of BS is this? He does it with everybody. Watch all of his channels. He does it with everyone. This is not dissing you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dissing on you. You gave me the platform. I respect you for that. But maybe you didn't take my story serious. And I gave you all the paperwork. I said, put all this paperwork out. Before I started, I said, but they were too busy. They were too caught up. Matthew does like 4 interviews a day. And he even says it. I just ask him a question, and they talk for hours and hours, and I get paid. That's how you do it. Why don't you do it? He says. You just get somebody on there, you ask them a question, tell me about your life, and then they talk hours and hours, and then if you get views, you get paid. But does that mean he actually cares about your story? I guarantee you, if I ask him about my story, he doesn't know nothing about it. I guarantee you, he doesn't even know who I am. I guarantee you, he probably just knows I was deported. But everything else that happened in my story, he didn't even acknowledge it. He was just thinking about how much money he's going to make, when's the next interview that's going to come, and who's the next person that I'm going to have on my platform. And how many people the next day are going to be on here. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, guys, you can't take a look at them and see how their expressions and their views on their face and determine the fact and how that leads to my story. and how really dedicated and how dedicated, how serious they are to listening to me, because they do this with everybody. If you take a look at every single one of their interviews, it's more of they ask a question and they let the guy speak for 2 hours. They never, it's not like Vlad TV. Vlad seems like he's interested. He really wants to know what's going on. He does paperwork. He does research. I gave him all my paperwork. I gave him my paperwork. I gave him all my facts. I gave him everything, so people can be quiet and say, "Oh, this is not real. Oh, this is not true. Oh, this didn't happen." It's all paperwork. I got it. Reach out to me on Instagram, on El Jefe, on El Jefe the Don, YouTube El Jefe the Don. Ask me for my paperwork. I'll send it to you, just so you can see it's all real. It's all there. Got nothing to hide. So anyways, they didn't do what I asked them to do. But anyways, I give them, hey, thanks for putting me on. Thanks for getting me on your platform. A lot of people have been on their platform, like, a lot of celebrities, a lot of, Fresh and Fit. Not that they're celebrities, but Fresh and Fit was on there. A couple other guys that, that are pretty big YouTubers. Very, very big YouTubers. So at least I got to talk to them and give them part of my story. And if it reached out to one person, he got to learn from it, took something from it. That's all I care about. I respect that. Thank you from the grace of God. And, anyways. But I'll talk more about, I'll give you a breakdown of my true story and how it started. And like I said, it all started from the barbershop. So Cuts, I appreciate you, Cuts. You told me, why don't you put this on? 1090 Jake talks about his juvenile, his stories when he was in juvie, when he was a kid, and how he's a white blood. You have a unique, extravagant, very exotic, crazy, madness story. I really think you should put it on social media, on YouTube. You might get a lot of views, and it's a good way to interact with a lot of people that are dealing with what you're dealing with. If it's incarceration, deportation, immigration, any situation. I'm not a good rapper, but I do play around like that sometimes. But anyways, guys, I'm going to talk more about it now that I'm back on. I just really took some time off to study, to really study the YouTube world, how it works, the content behind it, and to speak out to certain individuals to how they can help me progress with this YouTube world. And also listen to my story back and back over again, and to see how I can perfect my craft. That's why I took the time off. How to perfect my craft, and if I really want to do this or not. Is this really going to help out people? And if I get a lot of negative views, who cares, man? That's what life's about. Many people are going to be negative, For all the people that are negative, I love you. I care about you. And I wish nothing bad that ever happens to you. And I hope that you never get deported from your family, never have to go through what I have to go through, never get incarcerated, and always see success in your life. And for all the people that are by my side, and I don't want no fan. A fan just fans you, and then once you're cooled off, then you're not dropping that heat anymore for content. Then they just leave. I don't want no fans. I want supporters. If you support me, and you care about me, and you want me to proceed, and you want me to try to help out people, which I've been doing anyways, and which I will be doing anyways. But if you appreciate that, and you would like to see people legally come into your country, and legally pay taxes and do the right thing, and not be zombies out there, these people are Canadians. They have passports, and they're like zombies on the road dying. Like, passed out on the road. And they said it's mental illness. No, it's called laziness. It's called laziness and doing hardcore drugs. That's what it's called. And majority of the people are on that. So anyways, if you don't want to see those kind of people, you want people to come to your country and, make it a better place than what it is already. It's already a beautiful place. There's not a lot of crime, not a lot of killing. And for all the people that don't respect the country, then get the fuck out. I agree with all of you. Get the fuck out. Death to Canada. Death to yourself. Fuck off. If you don't like America, if you don't like Canada, go back to your goddamn country and see how it is. I guarantee you won't last a week there. You're going to say, oh my God, I wish I could go back and kiss the American and Canadian floor. Because you have no idea how it is back home. You're just talking because you're over here. You can go home. You can get some Chipotle, which is right down the street right now. I'm about to go grab some Chipotle, go home, relax, watch the documentaries, and live in peace. But you guys want to sit there and talk shit about the country you live in. But in reality, why are you here in the first place? Guess what? Because you couldn't handle it back home. You had to come here. Because back home was too rough for you. And for all the people back home in war, they shouldn't respect you either. You're not in war with them. You're not fighting for them. You're over here safe. So none of that death to Canada bullshit. You could take that back to your country and see what you're about. Anyways, everybody, I'm going to get back to you on this platform. I'm going to start doing more content. Thank you for everybody supporting me. And for you guys that are negative, keep being negative. You know what I'm saying? I still care about you. And I wish the best upon you. La Familia for life. That's how it's always going to be. La Familia. Every time we end a sit down, we're going to say La Familia for life. And that's all it's about. All about family, love, and peace.